Have you ever felt like you were chosen for something bigger? That your life's challenges, the trials you've endured, were not just random occurrences, but part of a divine plan leading you towards something greater? If that resonates with you, you're not alone. Many of us who are on a deep, personal and spiritual journey have felt that calling, like we're meant to transform, evolve, and share that transformation with the world. But what does it really mean to embark on this kind of journey? It's not just about reading books, watching videos, or even accumulating knowledge. True growth doesn't happen when we simply learn about change. It happens when we actively engage with what we've learned, apply it, and let it shape who we are. In this video, we'll delve into the real essence of self-improvement, focusing on how you can unlock your inner strength to face life's challenges head-on. We'll explore why transformation takes work, why consistency matters, and how to stay resilient even when it feels like you're not moving forward. If you've ever questioned your growth or felt disheartened by the slow pace of your progress, this video is for you. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video if you're ready for change, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of this journey. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on this. What's the hardest challenge you've faced on your personal journey? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be sure to respond to each of you as we navigate these ideas together. Now, let's dive in. When we think about personal growth, it's easy to imagine it as something that happens instantly. We want the quick fix, the instant transformation that we see in so many success stories. But here's the truth. True self-improvement doesn't come from quick wins or overnight success. It's not about what you can do in a week or even a month. It's about what you commit to every single day. Think about it for a moment. How often have you started a new habit, learned something new, and then felt discouraged when the results didn't show up immediately? That's the harsh reality of growth. The truth is, transformation is a process, and it's one that requires a shift in how we view time, effort, and ourselves. Let me take you back to a pivotal moment in my own journey. There was a time when I faced what felt like an insurmountable obstacle in my life. I was at a crossroads, unsure of which direction to take. I had spent years reading books, watching countless motivational videos, but none of that seemed to prepare me for what was coming. It was only when I truly understood this one key idea that everything began to change. Growth is not a sprint, it's a marathon. That moment of realization wasn't an instant fix. It didn't change my circumstances overnight, but it changed my approach. I began to see the long-term vision instead of fixating on immediate results, and that's where the magic started to happen. You see, when you focus on long-term growth, you begin to understand that every small effort, every moment of consistency is contributing to something much bigger. It's like planting a tree. You don't see the growth immediately, but with consistent care over time, that tree grows taller, stronger, and bears fruit. What does that look like in your life? Maybe it's about setting aside time each day for meditation or reflection. Maybe it's about working on a skill that you know will take years to perfect. Or perhaps it's simply about showing up every day, despite the doubts, despite the challenges, knowing that every small action matters. And yes, there will be days when you feel like you're not moving forward. There will be moments when you wonder if it's worth it. But the key is understanding that growth takes time. True self-improvement is a long game, not a short one. The consistency you maintain, even when it feels like nothing is changing, is what ultimately leads to transformation. If you're on this journey, remember that every step, no matter how small, is part of your growth. Embrace it. Be patient with yourself. The most important thing you can do is to keep going, especially when it feels hard. Keep going when you feel stuck. Keep going when the world around you tells you to quit. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring the importance of feedback or reflection. In fact, feedback is one of the most essential parts of the journey. Without it, how can we know if we're truly progressing or just going through the motions? It's in those moments of reflection, when we look at where we've been, where we are now, and where we want to go, that we can recalibrate our approach and make necessary adjustments. Feedback helps us refine our path, ensuring that we're moving toward our ultimate goals. But feedback isn't always easy to hear, especially when it challenges us or makes us confront uncomfortable truths. Yet, This discomfort is where the real growth happens. When you're willing to face those hard truths, when you're open to feedback and use it to course correct, you strengthen your ability to evolve, and as you evolve, so does your capacity to contribute to the world in ways you never imagined. In the next part of this video, we'll dive deeper into how to shift your mindset from a place of frustration to one of growth. I'll share practical steps you can take to stay consistent, even when the road feels long and the results aren't immediate. But before we move on, think about where you are right now in your journey. Are you committed to the long game? Are you ready to embrace the process, even when it's tough? Stay tuned. We're just getting started. Let's talk about mindset. We've all heard the saying, what you think you become. But what does that really mean when it comes to personal and spiritual growth? It's more than just a positive affirmation. It's a profound shift in how we see ourselves and our challenges. When you're walking a path of spiritual or personal transformation, the way you perceive your difficulties can make all the difference. If you look at every setback as an obstacle, something to be avoided or feared, it will only slow your progress. But if you shift your perspective and see those same setbacks as part of a divine plan, as stepping stones leading you to something greater, then you can approach them with a sense of purpose and even gratitude. This mindset shift is essential. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about embodying a deep belief that everything good or bad is happening for a reason, and that reason is part of your growth. Every challenge is an opportunity for refinement. Every moment of discomfort is a moment to strengthen your resolve. Think about the challenges you've faced in your life. If you reflect on them with a growth mindset, you'll likely see how much they've shaped who you are today. Maybe you've experienced heartbreak, failure, or loss. Perhaps you've gone through a period of intense doubt. But when you look at these challenges through the lens of transformation, you start to realize that each hardship has taught you something invaluable. It's not just a test, it's a lesson, a part of the process that will lead to your evolution. This is what I mean when I say growth is not about acquiring knowledge, but about shifting your mindset. Knowledge is powerful, but it's only effective when you apply it in the right way. You can read hundreds of books about spirituality or personal development, but if you're not willing to change how you see the world and your place in it, then that knowledge will remain just that, information that doesn't lead to lasting transformation. Let's take a deeper look at this with a practical example. Imagine you're learning a new skill. Maybe it's playing a musical instrument, writing, or even a spiritual practice like meditation. At first, you might struggle. You might feel like you're not getting better, that progress is too slow, and the results aren't coming fast enough. This is where your mindset will play a crucial role. If you view your lack of immediate success as a failure, you'll feel defeated and lose motivation. But if you see your progress as part of the journey, if you embrace every small improvement as proof that you are evolving, you'll stay committed. In fact, this mindset will not only keep you going, it will accelerate your growth. The more you believe in the process, the more you trust that your efforts will pay off, the more likely you are to stay consistent and continue refining your craft. This same concept applies to your spiritual journey. Often, we expect spiritual growth to be quick or to come with a clear sign from the universe. But the truth is, spiritual growth happens in small, often imperceptible steps. It's not about waiting for a lightning bolt of divine revelation. It's about being open to every moment, every experience, and learning from them. The practice of spirituality, like any other form of growth, requires patience, consistency, and the ability to stay present even when it feels like you're not progressing. But how do we stay patient when things feel stagnant? How do we keep our faith when progress seems invisible? This is where the long-term vision we talked about earlier becomes crucial. You have to trust that the work you're doing, even in the quiet moments, is leading you somewhere. Your challenges are not detours. They are the very steps that will get you to where you need to go. Now, let's explore the concept of consistency. Many people start strong, they make big changes, take bold actions, but over time, they lose momentum. The excitement fades, and without that initial spark, they stop showing up. But true transformation doesn't happen through a burst of energy. It happens through consistent effort day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Think about your own life. What is something you've started but struggled to keep up with? Maybe it's a meditation practice, a fitness routine, or a creative project. In the beginning, you felt motivated, excited, ready to make a change. But after a while, the enthusiasm fades, and that's when true growth begins, when you choose to keep going despite the fading motivation. That's where the real transformation happens. This is why consistency is such a key element in the journey of self-improvement and spiritual growth. When you're able to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, you start to build momentum. You build strength, resilience, and an unwavering belief in your ability to keep going. And that's when you begin to see the kind of transformation that will inspire not just you, but everyone around you. You might be wondering, how do I stay consistent when I'm facing so many challenges? The answer lies in remembering why you started. When you have a clear, deep sense of purpose, when you truly understand the significance of your journey, consistency becomes less about willpower and more about alignment. You are doing this work not because you have to, but because it's part of who you are and where you're going. So, how can you build consistency in your life? Start by identifying the areas where you want to grow, and then create a daily practice. This doesn't mean overwhelming yourself with grandiose plans. Start small, but start now. Commit to showing up, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Over time, those small actions will compound, and you'll start to see the changes you're striving for. In the next part, we'll explore how to embrace adversity as part of the transformation process and how feedback and reflection can keep you aligned with your higher purpose. Stay with me, there's much more to come. Let's dive into something that is often overlooked in the journey of personal and spiritual growth: adversity. Most people see hardship as something to avoid, something that blocks the path to success. But in reality, adversity is not an obstacle. It's a vital part of the transformation process. Without challenges, how could we grow? Without struggle, how would we ever discover our true strength? When life becomes difficult, whether through a personal loss, a health challenge, or an unexpected setback, it can feel like the universe is against you. But I want to propose a radical shift in perspective. What if these moments aren't interruptions in your journey, but integral parts of it? What if your greatest trials are not here to break you, but to shape you into the person you were always meant to become? Think about it for a moment. Many of the greatest success stories throughout history were forged in times of adversity. Whether it was a public figure, a historical leader, or someone close to you, it's often the hardest moments in their lives that led to their most significant growth. Adversity builds resilience. It builds character. It refines us, and in doing so, it reveals our true potential. Take, for example, the process of refining gold. To turn raw gold into something beautiful and valuable, it must be heated to extremely high temperatures. The impurities rise to the surface, and through intense pressure and heat, the gold becomes pure. Now, imagine yourself as that gold. Every challenge you face is like the heat that refines you, revealing the strength and clarity that was always within. This is the power of adversity in the context of self-improvement and spiritual growth. The challenges you face aren't just random misfortunes. They are the experiences that reveal the depths of your soul, help you discover your strengths, and push you closer to your higher self. You are not your hardships. You are the person who emerges stronger because of them. So, how do we navigate adversity in a way that aligns with our spiritual journey? The first step is to embrace it, not fight it. Resistance only prolongs suffering. But when you allow yourself to experience difficulty without judgment, you begin to understand its purpose in your life. Every challenge is a lesson, every setback a teaching moment. Now, I know it's easier said than done. When you're in the middle of a difficult situation, it can feel overwhelming, and it's natural to want to escape or wish for things to be different. But remember, true growth comes when you face those challenges head-on. You don't have to go through them alone. Seek support from those who inspire you, lean into your spiritual practices, and use these moments to deepen your self-awareness. When you begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, you start to shift the way you approach life. You stop fearing difficulty and start using it as a catalyst for transformation. And over time, the more you lean into these struggles, the stronger you become. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and instead see yourself as a co-creator of your destiny. This shift in perspective is what allows you to transcend challenges rather than being defined by them. At this point, you might be asking yourself, how do I know if I'm truly growing or just going through the motions? It's a great question, and one that many people ask themselves, especially when things feel stagnant. The answer lies in feedback and reflection. Feedback is a gift, but it's often difficult to receive, especially when it points out our weaknesses or areas where we're falling short. But if we're committed to growth, we need to welcome feedback as a tool for improvement. Whether it's feedback from a mentor, a friend, or even from our own inner voice, it's essential to listen and use it to fine-tune our actions. Reflecting on our experiences is just as important. When we take time to pause and reflect on how far we've come, we gain clarity about where we need to focus our efforts next. Reflection allows us to learn from our mistakes, celebrate our victories, and recalibrate our approach when necessary. It's like stepping back from a painting to see the full picture. Sometimes we need a moment of distance to appreciate the nuances of our journey. This is why the process of self-improvement is never-ending. No matter how much we grow, there's always more to learn, more to refine, and more to contribute. The path of growth doesn't end, it evolves. Each stage of the journey prepares us for the next. Each lesson builds upon the last. As you embrace this journey, it's essential to remember that growth is not linear. There will be highs and lows, moments of clarity and moments of doubt. And that's okay. Embrace it all. Let's pause for a moment and reflect together. When was the last time you looked at a challenge you faced and saw it as a lesson rather than an obstacle? When did you last take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come, even if the progress has felt slow? This is the kind of reflection that allows you to deepen your commitment to the journey. In the next part, we'll explore how to move from self-reflection to action and how to stay on track with your growth, even when external circumstances seem challenging. We'll discuss how to turn your inner growth into a source of external impact so you can share your transformation with the world. Stay with me. There's much more to come. As we've discussed, growth is a deeply personal and sometimes slow process. But what happens when you're ready to take the next step, when you feel a shift in your soul, and you want to share your transformation with the world? How do you move from internal growth to external impact? The key lies in integrating your personal evolution into the way you show up for others. Transformation isn't just about changing for yourself. It's about embodying that change and letting it ripple out to affect everyone around you. When you undergo deep spiritual and personal growth, you don't just become a better version of yourself, you also become a beacon for others who are on their own journey. You become an example of what's possible when you face adversity with grace, persistence, and an open heart. But here's the catch. You cannot share your transformation authentically unless you've truly embodied it. You see, it's easy to talk about growth, to share inspirational quotes, or even teach others what you've learned. But true impact comes when your actions, energy, and presence speak louder than words. It's when you live your growth, not just talk about it. Let me share a story. There was a time in my own journey when I was eager to help others, to share the wisdom I had gained through my own struggles. But I quickly realized that the most powerful way to guide others wasn't through lecturing them or offering advice from a place of theory. It came through living my truth and showing up with vulnerability. For example, there were days when I was feeling low, when doubts crept in, or when I questioned whether I was on the right path. In those moments, instead of pretending I had all the answers, I allowed myself to be human. I shared my struggles openly, and in doing so, I connected with others on a deeper level. They saw that growth doesn't mean perfection. It means embracing imperfection and continuing to move forward, no matter how difficult the road may be. When you share your journey in this authentic way, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. You show them that they don't need to have it all figured out to be worthy of growth. They, too, can embrace their struggles as part of their transformation. This brings us to another critical aspect of your journey: patience. Spiritual and personal growth don't happen overnight. The longer you commit to this process, the more you'll realize that every moment, every experience, and every challenge is part of a much larger unfolding. There will be times when it feels like your progress is too slow, that others are moving faster, or that you're not seeing the results you hoped for. But I want to remind you that everything happens in its own time. You've likely heard the phrase, "When the student is ready, the teacher will appear." Well, let me add to that. When the soul is ready, the lessons will unfold. Trust that the universe or whatever higher force you believe in has a perfect timing for your growth. Each stage is necessary. Each moment prepares you for the next. And even in the times when you feel like you're stuck, there's a reason for it. You are being prepared for something bigger, something that requires you to be fully grounded, centered, and strong. The next thing to remember as you continue on your journey is that growth often involves letting go of old beliefs, old patterns, and sometimes even old relationships that no longer serve your highest good. This can be incredibly challenging, especially when it involves people who have been a part of your life for a long time. But remember this, your spiritual and personal evolution requires that you make room for new experiences, new lessons, and new people who will support your journey. This doesn't mean that you have to sever ties with everyone from your past, but it does mean that you need to surround yourself with those who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, and who align with your higher purpose. It's about creating an environment that supports your evolution, not one that keeps you tethered to old patterns of thinking and being. Let's pause and reflect for a moment. What old beliefs or patterns do you still hold on to that may be hindering your growth? Is there anything or anyone in your life that no longer serves the person you're becoming? Take a moment to think about what you might need to release to make space for the next level of transformation. Finally, let's talk about resilience. The road to growth is rarely smooth. You will face obstacles, moments of doubt, and times when you feel like giving up. But resilience is what will carry you through. Resilience is the ability to get back up after falling, to continue moving forward even when the journey gets tough. It's not about avoiding pain or difficulty. It's about facing it, learning from it, and emerging stronger. In the face of adversity, your resilience will be tested. But if you embrace your challenges as part of your divine purpose, you'll find that your resilience grows with each trial. The more you lean into your journey, the more you learn to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and strength. Your resilience is a reflection of your inner belief in the process. It's a sign that you're not giving up, that you're committed to the long-term growth that comes with self-improvement and spiritual evolution. And when you remain resilient, your actions will inspire those around you to do the same. As we move toward the final part of this video, I want to remind you of something powerful. The journey is never truly finished. No matter how far you've come, there's always more to learn, more to evolve, and more to give. You are constantly in the process of becoming, and that is the beauty of the journey. Stay with me, because the conclusion will tie everything together, and I'll share how to apply all of this to your life in a way that leads to lasting transformation. Now, as we reach the end of this video, let's take a moment to tie everything together. We've covered a lot of ground: how to embrace adversity, the power of mindset, the importance of consistency, and how to move from internal growth to external impact. But the most important thing to remember is that true transformation isn't just about acquiring new knowledge, skills, or habits. It's about embodying what you learn and integrating it into every aspect of your life. If you're someone who feels chosen or deeply called to a spiritual and personal journey, then you are already on the path. But the real work comes when you commit to embodying your growth in every moment. It's not enough to read books, watch videos, or even meditate for hours. True self-improvement comes when you make a conscious effort to apply everything you learn to align your thoughts, actions, and energy with your higher purpose. Now, I want to remind you of something crucial. The journey is never over. You will never reach a point where you can say, "I am done growing." And that's the beauty of this process. Every day, every challenge, every lesson is an opportunity to evolve. You are always in the process of becoming. The person you are today is just the beginning of who you will be tomorrow. So, as you continue on your journey, remember that growth is not a sprint. It's a marathon, a long and winding path that requires patience, persistence, and, above all, trust. Trust in the process. Trust that everything you're experiencing is leading you to something greater. And most importantly, trust that you have everything inside of you to meet the challenges that lie ahead. And when you face those challenges, and you will, remember that adversity is not something to fear. It is the very tool that will refine you, that will show you the strength and wisdom you have within. You are not the sum of your hardships, but the person who rises from them. You are not defined by your past, but by your ability to keep evolving, to keep learning, and to keep growing. Now, as you step back into the world, how can you take all this growth and begin to share it? How can you show up in a way that not only transforms your own life, but inspires others to embark on their own journey of self-discovery and evolution? The answer lies in living your truth, embracing your unique path, and sharing your lessons authentically. When you show up with vulnerability, when you let your actions speak louder than words, you become a living example of what is possible. You become a guide for others who are just starting their own journeys, helping them navigate their challenges with the wisdom you've gained. As you move forward, ask yourself, what would it look like to fully embrace the process of becoming? What if you stopped rushing toward an imagined end and instead fully immersed yourself in each step along the way? What would change in your life if you trusted the journey, trusted the timing, and allowed yourself to grow with grace, patience, and resilience? Before I close, I want to remind you of the video we talked about earlier. Let life be wisdom for the chosen ones to guide your thoughts to true happiness. If you haven't already seen it, I highly encourage you to check it out. It dives even deeper into how to live a life of purpose and wisdom, and it will complement everything we've talked about today. And if you've found value in this video, if you've resonated with the message and feel inspired to continue on your journey, I'd love for you to show your support. Please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future content that will help guide you on your path. Remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are exactly where you need to be. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and embrace every moment of growth. The world needs your light, your wisdom, and your unique perspective. Keep evolving, keep growing, and most importantly, keep being you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I look forward to hearing about your journey and the amazing transformations that lie ahead for you. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget that your best days are still ahead of you.